Did you know your heart beats approximately 100,000 times every single day? That's over 2.5 billion heartbeats in a lifetime. Yet most of us take this remarkable organ completely for granted until something goes wrong. Here's the reality. Heart disease remains the #1 killer of adults over 60, but the surprising truth is that up to 80% of heart problems are preventable. Not just manageable, preventable. In this video, we're breaking down the 7 most effective heart-healthy habits that research shows can actually reverse damage, strengthen your heart, and potentially add quality years to your life, even if you're starting after 60. The 30-minute movement solution. When it comes to strengthening your heart after 60, nothing works faster than the right kind of daily movement. But here's what most seniors get wrong. You don't need intense exercise that leaves you exhausted or risks injury. The magic happens with consistent, moderate activity that slightly elevates your heart rate. A landmark study from the Journal of the American Heart Association found that just 30 minutes of moderate movement daily reduced heart attack risk by 35% in adults over 65, better results than many medications without the side effects. The key is finding something you'll actually do consistently. Walking is perfect for most seniors. It requires no special equipment, can be done anywhere, and is gentle on aging joints. Swimming deserves special mention for those with arthritis or joint pain, as the water's buoyancy supports your body weight while providing resistance. Whatever you choose, start where you are. If you can only walk for 10 minutes without getting winded, perfect, start there. 3 10-minute sessions throughout the day provide the same benefits as one 30-minute session. The most important aspect isn't intensity, but consistency. Moving moderately for 30 minutes most days will do more for your heart health than the most expensive medication or supplement. The Mediterranean eating pattern. If there's one eating style that consistently outperforms all others for heart health after 60, it's the Mediterranean approach. This isn't a diet. It's a flexible pattern of eating that has been shown in hundreds of studies to reduce heart attack risk by up to 30% and stroke risk by up to 40%. The longest-running study found that people who followed it most closely had hearts that functioned like those of people 10 years younger. What makes this approach so powerful for seniors? The abundant olive oil provides monounsaturated fats that actually help clear arteries rather than clog them. The emphasis on colorful vegetables and fruits delivers antioxidants that repair damage to blood vessels. And moderate amounts of fatty fish provide omega-3s that reduce inflammation, the silent driver behind most heart disease. What's most remarkable is how quickly this eating pattern works. In one study from the University of Barcelona, participants showed measurable improvements in blood pressure and inflammation markers after just 4 weeks. The simplest way to start? Replace butter with olive oil, eat fatty fish twice weekly, and fill half your plate with colorful vegetables at each meal. This isn't about deprivation. It's about enjoying real flavorful foods that your heart recognizes and knows how to process. Strategic stress management. Most heart advice focuses on physical factors, but here's something your doctor may have missed. Chronic stress may be just as damaging to your heart as smoking. When you experience stress, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, which temporarily raise blood pressure and heart rate. This was useful for our ancestors facing physical threats, but today's prolonged stress keeps these hormones elevated, literally wearing out your heart and blood vessels over time. For seniors, this effect becomes even more pronounced. Research from the Cleveland Clinic found that adults over 60 who reported high stress levels had 40% more cardiovascular events than those with effective stress management habits. The simplest technique with proven results is diaphragmatic breathing, taking slow, deep breaths that fully engage your diaphragm. When practiced for just 5 minutes twice daily, this activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counteracts stress hormones. Connection with others also provides powerful stress protection. Seniors with strong social ties show remarkably better cardiovascular outcomes than isolated individuals, regardless of other health factors. Find what works for you, whether it's deep breathing, meditation, spending time with loved ones, or immersing yourself in nature. The key is making stress management a daily habit, not something you turn to only in crisis. Quality sleep prioritization. Sleep might be the most underrated heart habit, especially for seniors. We often dismiss sleep problems as just part of aging, but the research tells a different story. A groundbreaking study from the European Heart Journal found that adults over 60 who consistently got quality sleep had 34% lower rates of heart failure and stroke compared to poor sleepers, regardless of other risk factors. Here's what happens. During deep sleep, your heart rate and blood pressure naturally decrease, giving your cardiovascular system essential recovery time. Without enough quality sleep, your blood pressure remains elevated, inflammatory markers increase, and your blood vessels can't properly repair daily damage. For seniors specifically, sleep apnea deserves special attention. Up to 70% of adults over 65 have some degree of sleep apnea, which causes repeated breathing disruptions and oxygen drops throughout the night. This puts enormous strain on your heart, yet most cases go undiagnosed. Signs to watch for include daytime fatigue despite adequate sleep time, morning headaches, loud snoring, or gasping during sleep. If you suspect sleep apnea, getting proper diagnosis and treatment could be the single most important step for your heart health. Even without sleep apnea, many seniors struggle with sleep quality. Keep your bedroom cool, around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, dark and quiet. Maintain consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. And perhaps most importantly for seniors, limit afternoon caffeine and evening screen time, both of which disrupt your natural melatonin production. Your heart does its repair work while you sleep. Give it the time it needs, and you'll feel the difference throughout your waking hours. Consistent blood pressure monitoring. Blood pressure truly is the silent killer. It can damage your heart, brain, and kidneys for years without producing any symptoms. For adults over 60, this monitoring becomes even more crucial. Here's why. Our blood vessels naturally lose some elasticity with age, making blood pressure control more challenging. Additionally, many seniors take multiple medications that can affect blood pressure, sometimes creating unexpected fluctuations. The American Heart Association now recommends home monitoring for all adults with high blood pressure, especially seniors. This simple habit reveals patterns that occasional doctor's visits miss, allowing for much more precise management. For instance, many older adults experience white coat hypertension, elevated readings only in medical settings. Others have masked hypertension, normal readings at the doctor's office but high readings at home. Without regular home monitoring, these patterns remain hidden, leaving your heart at risk. For the most accurate readings, measure at the same times each day, ideally morning and evening. Sit quietly for 5 minutes first, with your back supported and feet flat on the floor. Take 2 readings, 1 minute apart, and record both along with any relevant notes about medications, activities, or symptoms. This simple daily habit gives you unprecedented insight into your heart health. Heart-focused hydration. Most seniors know they should drink more water, but few understand just how profoundly hydration affects heart function after 60. As we age, our thirst sensation naturally diminishes, making dehydration extremely common. Yet even mild dehydration forces your heart to work harder as your blood volume decreases and becomes more concentrated. A study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that adults who drank less than 3 cups of fluid daily had a 46% higher risk of developing heart failure compared to well-hydrated individuals. Even more concerning, chronic mild dehydration correlates with higher rates of silent heart attacks, cardiac events that cause damage without obvious symptoms. For seniors specifically, proper hydration helps prevent sudden drops in blood pressure that can cause dizziness and falls. It also keeps blood platelets less sticky, reducing clot risk, and helps the kidneys filter waste more efficiently, taking strain off the cardiovascular system. How much is enough? While the standard recommendation is 8 cups daily, Seniors' needs vary based on medication use, activity level, and climate. A more personalized approach is to check your urine color. Pale yellow indicates good hydration, while darker yellow suggests you need more fluids. Make hydration easier by keeping water visible and accessible. If plain water seems unappealing, try adding fresh fruit slices, herbs like mint, or a splash of juice. Herbal teas, broths, and high-water foods like cucumber and watermelon all contribute to your fluid balance as well. Meaningful connection. Cultivation. This might surprise you, but research increasingly shows that social connection is just as important for heart health as exercise or diet, especially after 60. A remarkable Harvard study that followed participants for over 80 years found that the quality of our relationships was the strongest predictor of both health and happiness throughout life. For heart health specifically, strong social ties correlate with lower inflammation levels, better blood pressure control, and even improved cholesterol profiles. The physiological mechanisms are fascinating. Positive social interactions trigger oxytocin release, which reduces inflammation and helps blood vessels relax. Regular connection with others also improves vagal tone, the functioning of your vagus nerve, which regulates heart rate and stress response. Conversely, chronic loneliness creates a stress state in the body, similar to physical danger, raising cortisol levels and inflammatory markers that directly damage heart tissue. This may explain why socially isolated seniors face a 29% higher risk of heart attack or stroke, comparable to the risk from smoking or obesity. Quality matters more than quantity. Meaningful connections with even a few people provide greater benefits than many superficial interactions. And connection takes many forms. Volunteering, participating in faith communities, regular video calls with family, or joining interest-based groups all contribute to this protective effect. The most important aspect is consistency. Brief, regular connection works better than occasional, intensive social experiences. Even small daily interactions, chatting with a neighbor or calling a friend, help maintain the physiological benefits of social bonding.